Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Black Bull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Black Bull Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. Get either the Essential Plus or Premium plans absolutely free. All you need to do is trade from one lot a month at Black Bull Markets. And you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below. Our sponsor Blue Guardian is the only prop firm that gives their traders a tool to protect them from hitting their max daily loss and over trading. It's super simple to use. Just set the Guardian Protector each day from your dashboard. Did you also know that they've just released an unlimited time evaluation with a 0 trading days requirement, giving you plenty of time to hit their low 8 and 4% targets, making it super fast to get funded. Plus, it's cheaper than the 40-day time limit evaluation. Check out the link and coupon in the description to get 10% off your next Blue Guardian evaluation.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Brinks Trades back with another week of breakdowns. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's see where the comment sections are coming in from. Tony said, let's go. We're back. Justin Dixon said, tops. How's everybody doing today? I'm going to go ahead and start getting into the charts. If you guys have questions, see, we got about 14 people on. Again, I love to know where people are calling in from, where people are at, people are based at. Again, my usual spiel is I'm Brinks Trades. I am the resident indices analyst for the Trading Up podcast. I'm one of the best futures traders that you're going to find online, especially the ones that are giving things out and breakdowns for free. So I've been trading for about 10 years. In March, it'll be 10 years, so about 9.5 years. Started in Forex, came to the futures market, and really just kind of was able to do some pretty cool things there. Funded 1.7 million across different Forex and futures firms. Primarily, again, trade futures, and I just do the breakdowns for the indices, the futures versions of the indices, so NQ, ES, and US or NYM, and then as well as some of the Euro futures and the futures currencies as well. So it's been a crazy journey. I'm thankful every day, and every day I'm getting better and better as a trader, and it's been an amazing, fun journey to watch. And I'm glad that for the past year I've been able to document everything on the Trading Up podcast and calling out all these trades and doing things. And Kush Sarhan said, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I apologize. This is hi, love from India. Watch your channel. You're doing amazing work. I appreciate it, man. It's really cool. I think the coolest thing about this channel is that there's people from around the world that tune in every week just to watch this. And it's been pretty cool. Tony said, once again, you called NFP before it happened. I appreciate that. I wasn't even watching the charts on NFP. To be honest with you, but it was probably something that happened. I caught out last week. So for me, I usually try to find trades, once I usually am looking for like 1 or 2 setups a week. And then, once I get those, I'm out of the market. I never really hold on to things. I don't really swing trade as much. So a lot of times I'll make the predictions at the beginning of the week or on Saturdays. Then when the week hits, maybe I'll find 1 or 2 setups that are earlier in the week. And then just whatever happens towards the end of the week happens. And a lot of times it plays out. So sup from Anambia. That's what's up. So we got India, we got Africa, we got obviously the US. Tony Gold said, I learned my lesson. I was up and I got greedy. Yeah, I mean, one of the hardest things to do in trading is stopping trading, right? And I think that's, you can make as much money as you want in these markets, but you can also lose as much money as you have in the markets, right? And even everything. So for me, it's just having the discipline to know that I'm looking for 1 or 2 good setups. I know what my risk is going to be for these setups, and then I'm going to come in and then execute and then get out and then call it a week. I feel like the more you trade in the markets, the more you have the opportunity to lose. And then maybe that's not the case with everybody, but I feel like getting 1 to 2 good wins a week, it kind of keeps your head right. For me, I'm not a machine, right? So I deal with all of the emotional factors that come with trading, like the greed, the fear, all that stuff, right? And so I don't want to overexpose myself to that stuff because there's a law about decision fatigue, and the more and more choices you make in a day, right, the less and less quality your choices get over time. And so, obviously, think about all the decisions you make in a day, right? From what time you're going to get up, grabbing your phone when you wake up, taking a shower, what you're going to wear, driving to work, what you're going to eat, who you're going to talk to, what you're thinking about for your job. Like all those decisions kind of add up and they kind of tax you over the course of the day. And so, the more and more decisions you make, you get to the end of the day, the less and less quality, higher quality decisions you're making, when you're just really tired. And so it's the same thing with trading. Like the more and more decisions you make, especially under high stress, high pressure situations, you tend to just make worse decisions as the time goes on if you keep making them. So for me, I just try to make the best quality decisions possible, get my one or two trades out, and know that they were good. They were good setups. And so, but at the same time, don't hesitate to see it if you take it. So there's a lot there. But yeah. So what I want to do is just kind of go through the charts and then start breaking down what I think is going to happen this week. So again, you guys know I start with dollar because dollar is the overarching kind of like it sets the tone. Dollar is king, right? And so if you understand where dollar is going, then you can make a better understanding and better prediction for everything else. And so last week, if we back this up 1 week, what we said we wanted to see happen, and I don't actively trade dollar again, I just use it as that kind of like barometer. So like my charts on dollar are usually unchanged from week to week. And so if you go back and watch last week's video or last week's live stream, I wanted to see the market really run up into this volume imbalance potentially, or even as high as consequent encroachment at this gap. And this is off. This should be, well, should have been a little higher, I think. Oh no, I'm right. So if you go back here, you can see that we wanted to see market trade up into this range, and then really start to fall over and really, look at targets. This weekly low was kind of our first target. It lines up again with kind of these relative lows here. And so I wanted to see the market really kind of drop down back into this range as a target. And if we fast forward 1 week, I think we traded back into this volume imbalance, and then we started to fall over and really tapped this low. So that daily target was hit. So we were bearish. And so going into next week, again, I have to stick with the same bias. There's really nothing here that lets us know that the market will kind of drop. And I think this is what Tony was talking about, where we took out that low on Friday. The low must have been made on during NFP. We tapped our target exactly on NFP. So that's the thing. That's what he was talking about. Again, usually I'm done when I trade NFP weeks. I'm usually done with all my trading by Wednesday at noon. So I hardly ever watch the last couple of days in the market. And, I really, a lot of times on those weeks, this is the first time that I've looked at the market um, since like Tuesday or Wednesday of that week. So glad to see it played out. So going into next week, what I want to see continuing to see happen and play out here is I want to see the market really run for this high again. Give us a reason to come back into this range. And actually kind of did already. So best case scenario, what I want to see happen, like best case scenario, I want to see the market run back up in here again and then continue to tap new lows, like fully get another close below this candle again. Since we already kind of gravitated up here, it might not go this high. So the secondary level that I'll be looking for is consequent encroachment of this wick, the upper end of this wick here. So that's the second level. If I go down to the 4-hour, yeah. So I'd say like consequent encroachment of these wicks, which kind of make up that daily wick, is what I want to see. So I'm gonna make a note here that says this is the first area. But then we also could go a little higher too. So I'll say like right here is peak area. So again, want to see that happen. So for bearish on dollar, we should be bullish in the other ones, but I didn't see how NFP ended. So let me see what happened here. So yes, we're bearish. So let me see. I think this week for NASDAQ, I was a little off on the predictions. I think I wanted to see, if I go to NAS100, go to the weekly. I was actively trading on NASDAQ this week, so I gotta erase my charts. But somebody keep me honest. I think we wanted to see bullishness last week coming into the week. And I think what I wanted to see was us respect kind of like the upper end of this consequent encroachment of this wick. And again, the consequent encroachment of this week as well, for us to continue to ride things out. So if I go back a week, I think what I wanted to see was something like this. And I said, if we take out this low here, which would be dropped to the daily, this low here, then most likely we're probably going to continue down. And again, keep me honest. If that's not what I said last week. But yeah, so I think ideally I was leaning towards a bullish bias, but once we took out this low, it kind of transitioned. And again, this is kind of why, I'd say a good 70% of the time, 60 to 70% of the time, you can kind of make the predictions on what's going to happen this week based on the previous Saturday, right? Like how we usually do. Every once in a while, when you come into situations, you kind of need more data to kind of get a firmer grasp on what the market's going to run for. Um, and if that's the case, then, you might need to see Monday, Tuesday open up. And so when that happened, Monday, Tuesday really opened up with this bearish action. Monday traded bullish, and then we kind of tanked from there. So once we had this huge kind of Tuesday, it was kind of go time for any short positions. Created another imbalance here. Traded back up into this volume imbalance, and which overlaps with this other fair value gap here. So very good bullish confirmation, relative equal lows that we traded through on Friday. As of now, this is kind of a weird range that we're in. So if we go to the monthly time frame, just to kind of see what's going on. Last week, since last week was the beginning of a new month, I did say that there's a chance that we could retest consequent encroachment of this. So really, since this is the first week of a new month, there's a lot of things that I'm looking at. So I'm really looking at last month's candle. We ended on a huge wick. Again, we understand what we do with wicks. We measure consequent encroachment. We stopped dead on that. So I'm going to be looking to see how we respect that for the rest of the month. If we close the month below this, or like really, not respecting this level, there's a chance that we could see greater rejection. But to be honest, I think with this being like the first full week in the month completed, I think this could just be us kind of really getting liquidity to kind of go higher for the rest of the month. So I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of the month kind of played out like this, and then we dug higher. That's just kind of a long-term or longer-term prediction. But with that being said, if we go to the weekly, there's levels that I'm looking at here. Obviously, we stopped kind of low breaking structure again. We really just kind of been ranging. Again, looking at weekly levels, the weekly consequent encroachment of this wick is another level that I want to see respected if we're going to stay bullish long-term. Daily. Oops. What is this weekly? But So again, going to the daily time frame, there's not really too much here that's gonna say that's gonna really like allow us to kind of form a good idea for bullishness. With that being said, I want to see the market really trade back up into this range. I'm gonna see how Monday looks, right? I want Monday to kind of form a high and then us potentially to trade into an imbalance. We also have this old volume imbalance up here that we could retest. So ideally, I want to see something like that continue to happen. We don't really have. Actually, you know what? This is going to be one of those times where I'm not going to be 100% sure. So that's going to really dictate my analysis. Again, if you guys are new here, I do this stuff in real time. I don't have this stuff like prepared ahead of time. So ideally, since we're breaking structure to the downside, I would like this to stay, we continue to go bearish. There's just some stuff here on the small time frames that I don't like. So I don't like the fact that we respect the consequent encroachment of this old wick. So I'm really looking to see a few things, and I probably won't take a trade until then. But there's going to be a fair value gap that forms at the end of Monday's close. It could be here, it could be higher here. It's really going to depend on Monday's close. So I'm just going to draw this out like this. But this level is not the exact level. We won't really know that until the end of Monday. So really, I'm going to be looking at how price really treats this future fair value gap. If we respect this, or we don't even trade back into it, I'm going to kind of stick with the bearish bias. But if we fail to respect this and start trading, we reject this level and start going from to the high of this. So if we really kind of break through this 1831 level and start making higher highs, then I'm going to start leaning bullish. There also, again, is an inverted fair value gap here. So there's a lot of gaps here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did something like this and traded back up into that. And so I would say if we fail to respect this, like we start trading above this, then I'm going to start looking for bullish opportunities. But as of right now, there's a couple of things that still need to form on Monday for me to get a very accurate description. But I can't really bet against the bearishness right now, especially since I don't see anything on the lower time frames that kind of says we might trade bearish or bullish. So this 4-hour gap is kind of like in the middle of that. So I'm just gonna pull this here and make a note. It says 4-hour value gap, trading bias. Will depend on this. So if we respect, then I could see us going higher. If we respect this, I could see this going lower. If we fail to respect this, then this could be the reversal. There's a lot of conflicting signs that we have in the market. So when you get these decisions and things like that, then most likely it's your sign to kind of stay out of the market until you get a better understanding of what's going on. Like I said, weekly fair value gap already disrespected. So let's say this. Yeah, kinda. That's kind of true. Yeah, since there's no order block here. Yeah, I mean that makes more sense. I think like I'm leaning towards a bearish bias. Like if you put a gun to my head, I'm gonna say bearish bias, but I really want to see how we respect this level here because I am seeing some stuff that could lend itself to bullish. So like gun to my head, I'm 80% bearish, right? But then there's again some bullish like liquidity markers or PD arrays that I see that could cause this to reverse. And so I'd feel more comfortable when I start seeing this respect more of those bearish PD arrays. So So yeah, I'm gonna lean bearish, but this is kind of I really want to see how this 4 hour gap holds um in relation to that. So if I had to write this down, I would say like I'm like 70% bearish. Probably say like 75% bearish. And then there's about 20, I see like a 25% chance of us like going bullish. And I know people are like, well, you're calling both sides. I mean, sometimes like it's like that, right? And usually like your best trades are going to come when you kind of see like, you look at both sides of the trade and you're like, okay, what's your bias here? What, long or short? And you really, if you see a long bias, your best trades are usually going to come when you don't see any type of short, opportunities to kind of like counteract that or uh, counteract your prediction. So if you can usually call both sides of the range, or if you can make a case for bullishness and bearishness, it's not a high probability setup. So just want to see a little bit more bearish confirmation to start the week off. Again, us trading up into this range and continue to rock down there. So, but definitely agree with you. That weekly fair value gap was disrespected, but there's some daily levels that I could see respected. So that's kind of why I'm going back and forth. So unfortunately, not every week is, just a clean cut. This is where the prices are going. So I think it's going to probably be the same thing for S&P. Actually, S&P is a little more clear. Weekly. We also did not disrespect that weekly fair value gap that we did on Nasdaq. So there's a chance that we could continue to rise back up. But since we're trading under consequent encroachment, I don't think we're going to. I go back to the monthly again, just kind of measuring consequent encroachment. Yeah, we could probably run a little lower for sure on Nasdaq or on S&P. So I'm going to leave with a bearishness. It's the same thing. So ideally, I want to see the market really continue to run lower. I'm going to say this low here. It's an old order block that's kind of sitting on the daily here. If I zoom in, I'm just going to say week one, weekly target. Weekly target there. If we get an extended run, I'll be looking at this low. So that's what I'll be looking for on the daily. So bearish still. If we go to YM, we have actually a little bit different situation. So this is US30. So again, futures or the Forex version. If we kind of take going into last week, again, we wanted to see this potentially run higher, I believe, as well. We didn't get that. We had to close above the high too. So kind of figured we'd keep running. I believe, and if, again, keep me honest, I believe we wanted to see how price was going to respect the wicks, this wick, and this consequent encroachment of this wick. So there, we got a firm close underneath this. So this just looks like a standard liquidity run, like we ran these highs and now we're going lower. So with that being said, I really think we're going to continue to run lower as well. Let's see. So ideally, I want to see something like this again, us running into this level. And then this is going to be at 40,420, and then us continuing to run down. First target will be the low, previous low, but ideally I'm going to be looking at this fair value gap here. So, yeah, so ideally I want to see that kind of happen for this week. So I'll be looking at two levels. Ideally, this low, but then also this fair value gap as well. So that's kind of my targets that I'll be looking at for US30. This is 40,007, and the top end of this fair value gap is 39,966. So I think we're going to continue to run bearish for sure on this. This looks like pretty much just a clean breakdown in price over these highs. So that's kind of a very simpler kind of call out there. So yeah, so then let me go to gold futures. So I'm sorry, gold futures, euro futures. It's the same thing here. So I said I wanted to see price really trade into this range and then go higher to this fair value gap. We got that, and once we got here, this was kind of like my area that I was like, I wasn't 100% sure whether we'll continue to run higher. So ideally, I'm gonna pause on this. I don't have a great understanding of the next level. I talked to my students about this idea of equilibrium, and it's essentially just the middle range of two price levels. And so when price hits equilibrium, we kind of have to kind of sit back and wait for it to kind of give us the next swing. But ideally, I think we're probably gonna, just with this price action here on the 4-hour, I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to run bearish. If we drop down to the hour time frame, yeah, I would not be surprised. 15-minute, same thing. So yeah, it's low, and we respect the consequent encroachment. So ideally, what I want to see, if I'm leaning anywhere, I'm probably going to lean short, but something like that. If we start trading above this fair value gap, then we most likely will continue to run higher. But I think with all of this respecting of consequent encroachment, us trading all the way through with NFP, and then again on the next hour, I think this is a sign that we're probably going to fall over and continue to go short. So we'll be looking at 1.1100 for opportunities to continue to watch this to go short. If you look at GBP futures, hopefully it's giving us something similar. Let's go back up to the daily. Yeah, this one's not as clear to me. This one's not as clear. So I'm going to hold off on this. I would assume this is probably going to lean very similar to euro, but not as sure, because I can make a case for both. So I'm not even going to look at it. So again, bearishness on euro. But we'll see how that plays out. So that's all I got for you guys. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to, please like this video, kind of share it to people. If you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, this is Brinks Trades. You can find me, do more breakdowns there. And then on any social media, it's going to be Brinks Trades as well. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up in that, and then the Telegram chat as well. And we'll go from there. So I'll stay on for any questions, but I'm gonna turn my camera off for a second. But if you guys have any questions at all, then let me know.